You've been holding it all together, doing everything for everyone else, but you're still running on empty, and here's why. Hi, I'm Tanya from Queen Bee, and I help women who are tired of being strong all the time find a new way to live, one that's rooted in support and not self-sacrifice. So what I'd like to do in this video is actually break down that Superwoman myth, or Wonder Woman, why it's so damaging, and what it looks like to choose something that's a lot more sustainable. Essentially, the idea that we have to be everything to everyone is not just unfair, it's also incredibly unsustainable, and it's costing you your health and your happiness. Now, a lot of this comes down to our upbringing. We are taught, or we were taught as young girls, that we needed to be supportive of other people. We needed to be good girls. We needed to be helpful. And essentially we needed to put other people first. And we also had to keep going. We weren't allowed to just chuck a sickie or anything like that. We actually had to be responsible. And that shows up in lots of different ways for all of us. And one of the big ways that shows up is as the Superwoman role, or Wonder Woman role. I usually use Wonder Woman, but it's been different today. Now, this is very much around, I am out saving everyone else. I am out fixing up this problem. I am looking after this, maybe the children. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I saw this in myself when I noticed I was taking pride in having so much on. It was like, oh, I've got to get this done, and I'm doing this, and I've got that, and I realized that I was sharing this as a badge of honor. Something that I was secretly proud of, that I could do all of these things, and even though I wasn't coping, was that I was actually doing all of these things. And it's a really interesting one, because it's almost that we feel we have to be Superwoman in order to be enough. And this, from a career perspective, comes to play in statements like, oh, as a woman you have to be twice as good to be seen as, half as important, or whatever it might be. We're constantly pushing the narrative that we have to be more, we have to be everything, and we have to be doing it all. Often without help, or there's that sense of no help. And you also see this, that concept of like someone's Insta life, right? Oh yeah, we've got all these things happening and everything's going great. And we're not actually talking about the fact that for a lot of highly successful women have a lot of support. They have a lot of people there helping make sure that things happen, and they're not doing it all themselves. But we think we have to. We think that that's how it's done, and it's not. It's not sustainable, and it's not a healthy outlook for us. It wears us down mentally because we think we're somehow less than other people, emotionally because we are so freaking exhausted from doing it all, and physically because we just can't keep pushing. We run out of steam. And if we're not careful, that's when we start falling into burnout and breakdown, and it's not good. And it's hard to see the warning signs from inside. Others might notice it, but if we're masking it really well, they probably won't. But we just need to be aware that this is not a healthy role for us to be taking on. What we need to appreciate is asking for help is actually a strength. It is a powerful response. It isn't about being weak. When I run programs for students, what I am spend a lot of time telling them that, yes, in school, you might have been put down for asking questions, for, letting people know you don't understand. But once you get to your higher levels, like your university and, workplace beyond, is you actually need to be able to ask for help. Because otherwise, if you're doing it wrong, you'll keep doing it wrong. Asking for help takes the strength because we're not used to doing it. But it also shows that we are ready to receive help. We are open to having the support. And often others want to help us, but they don't know how because we're not letting them know that. Once we can do that, then that support is there waiting for us. And it's not always where we think it is. When we do start reclaiming our energy, by letting go of this need to be everything and super at it, what we get back is something is so much more than what we expect. And we don't always notice it at first. And we definitely don't tend to link it to what we've changed. We kind of go, all of a sudden things aren't so bad anymore. And we can easily forget all the work that we've been doing, what we've been letting go of, the boundaries that we have worked hard to create within ourselves so that we can support ourselves, and of course asking for help. All those things are what help take us to reclaiming ourselves, and therefore our energy and our emotions and our well-being is quite subtle. How that might look for you is that you actually do a audit of all the roles that you take on in your life. And you start looking at which ones of these am I trying to be Superwoman in? Which ones of these are important? Which ones am I taking on because I think I should? And then we need to start saying, okay, which ones can we let go of? Or which ones can we downsize for ourselves? So we might be on the Business Women's Network board. Maybe what we can say is, look, I can no longer be a treasurer. Maybe I can just be a supporting member. And so we start going all the small things, but we look at all those different roles. Where can I ask for support? What can I change to make it a little bit easier? And sometimes that's up here, and sometimes that's down here. It's not easy to do it alone, and I know because I've gone through it, and at different times I've had to get help because I just couldn't get further on my own. We are strong regardless, and we need support. You can be capable and still say no. It's time to find another way. If you need some support with this, you might like to think about our From Chaos to Calm to create a clearer headspace so that you can actually explore this. You might want to book a one-on-one coaching conversation with me where we can actually work through some of these things with you. Or perhaps even join Transform and let's work through the whole thing together. Of course, details are below. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And I'll be back with another one next week.